Hey everyone, I am here today with my April wrap up. April was a little bit of a relaxed month in terms of reading for me. My husband's been on holidays for the past week. He's going back to work on the start of May though, so my reading will pick up. These are the books that I read. I managed to read 9 books this month. It's not even the end of the month. I'm just doing this now because this is the only opportunity that I have to film it. But the first thing that I read in the month was The Witch Must Burn by Danielle Page, which is the second novella in the Dorothy Must Die series. I have told you guys before that I want to work my way through these, and this was a 3-star book. I think that everything's going to be 3 stars within this world for me. One of the main reasons that I mark it with a 3 is a pretty good score in terms of everything. And that is because the world building is really easy. I mean, the Wizard of Oz world is one that I'm familiar with. So this story follows Janelia, I think that's her name. She's a maid and she's also an Order of the Wicked who are in the first book trying to take down Dorothy. And it's sort of her pre-story about how she got recruited and the reason behind her things. Next up I read Tell Me 3 Things by Julie Buxbaugh. I gave this one 4 stars. It is about a girl who has moved across the country with her father. He has remarried kind of a very wealthy woman who has a son of her own. The way that her parents, that their parents met was through a bereavement dating website. So her mother had passed away and this woman's husband had passed away, and she gains a stepbrother named Theo, which is so funny because that's my son's name, if you didn't know. And Theo kind of hates her and she's going to this new school where she doesn't really fit in, and she starts getting these mysterious emails from this person just as a well-wisher who is kind of just trying to help her navigate her new school and to fit in with everything. And you know, there's like a couple of people that she thinks that it could potentially be, and there's a mysterious cute guy, and there's a cute guy who's into her, and then there's just this other completely random person, and she's all doing this without kind of, you know, having friends of her own, until one day she gets an email saying, hey, like, I think that you might get along with this person. So she kind of befriends the girl and it's really good, and she has, you know, a friendship with the anonymous person sending the messages. And it was just a good, cute little book. I think that I read it in a couple of hours. It's a contemporary, so they're not that hard to get through for me. Then I read The Beautiful Creatures manga and I loved this. I gave this one 4 stars. I love the Castor Chronicles. I think that this is the only one that is a manga though. I usually listen to the audiobooks of these books and I just find them a lot more atmospheric and easier to get through. So if you haven't read the Castor Chronicles, you should try them in audiobook format because I absolutely love that, and I've got right into audiobooks this month, as you will see later on. This next book is called Kill the Boy Band and it was so good. I gave this one 5 stars. I borrowed this off the Overdrive app and listened to the audiobook. I did have to speed the audiobook up quite a fair bit to kind of get into the flow of the story, but when I was in, and like I said, 5 stars. It was a really good and accurate look at what it is to be in fandoms. So it's about this girl and she's telling the story of how they kidnapped a boy band member from a boy band called the Ruperts because they're all named Rupert. She has a crush on Rupert K. I can tell that it's sort of very loosely based sort of on One Direction, because there's like the Rupert that they accidentally kidnap her and her 3 friends, sorry, because there's 4 of them and they all love a different Rupert. Just the way that people view the fans of the Ruperts. I think that they're called like streppers or something because that's Rupert spelled backwards. It's a really funny read. I think that it's one of those books that you're either going to love or you're just not going to be invested in at all. If you've read it, let me know in the comments down below because that was a wild ride. That was a crazy book. This isn't really a book per se, but it sort of is because it fits into the Royals universe by Erin Watt, who is Jen Frederick and Elle Kennedy, and every week on a Friday they are releasing a new chapter for, I think it's sort of, I don't think it might be like a novella, and it might be it's being released up until Easton's book is released because that's happening towards the end of the year. You will see that in a future releases video from me, I promise, because I'm anticipating that book. But this is Gideon and Savannah. So if you've read the Royals trilogy, loosely know who Gideon and Savannah are. They do play a little bit of a part in everything that's going on, especially in the second book. Gideon is the oldest royal brother, and this one is on like an alternating chapter thing. So it's like one chapter's Gideon, one chapter's Savannah, but it's also on alternating timelines, so it's sort of how they first met, and then present day things that have happened, so we don't really know everything that's going on, but it is really good, and that is sent out every week if you are a member of Erin Watt's newsletter, which of course I am, but it's also being put onto Wattpad, so if I can find the link for that, I'll link it down below. So if you've read the Royals trilogy, because you need to have read the trilogy before you can read the next part, which is Gideon and Savannah's story called Tarnished Crown. I should have mentioned that as well. So that's what I've been reading every week, and I'm really liking that so far. I love anything to do with the Royals, so that's great. Next, I did a little bit of a buddy read with Civi from Cookie Addiction, who I love her so much. Seriously, check out her channel if you haven't already. I'll link her down below. I don't even think that she finished this one, but that's fine because she's really in a Laini Taylor mood at the moment. I mean, I know that she read Stranger Dreamer and then she reread Daughter of Smoke and Bone, so she's just been like fangirling absolutely everywhere. Love her. Not gonna make this like an I Love Civi video though. But we read Allisons On My Land, which was of course a reread for me. Oh my gosh, I love this book so much. And I completely get it. I completely understand why some people are just not gonna care. Like, it's one of those series, and I think that I'm very nostalgic for it because it's one of the first YA books that I ever really read and just totally loved and fell in love with. So I gave this one 4 stars. I was cruising through my Overdrive app and I came across Royal Tour by Amy Allwood. I gave this one 3 stars. It's a continuation of the Potion Diaries. The next book is coming out, I think maybe in August, so I wanted to get this one read. Still think that it is younger reader appropriate. I definitely say that the first book is more appropriate for younger readers just because there are some more situations. She has a boyfriend in this book. If you didn't know, the Potion Diaries, which I think that a lot of people won't know what this is about, the whole Potion Diaries series is about a girl named Sam who is an old school alchemist. Her grandfather has taught her the ways of alchemy, and synthetic potions are sort of taking over. In the first book, they have to reverse a love potion that the crown princess has accidentally put on herself, which is just wild. The second book is sort of continuing on from things that happened in the first book. I can't really say anything about the plot because obviously it would spoil stuff. I read one of my anticipated releases, and that was Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett, and can I just say that the synopsis that they had on Goodreads that I then reworded and presented to you guys, complete fucking spoiler. Like, oh my god, holy shit. Like, I was waiting the entire book for that to happen, and it just was mind-blowing. I was like, how? Like, who wrote this synopsis before like realizing that it was this massive spoiler? Like, it was, oh my gosh, seriously. She's to this town, she gets a job, she meets this guy, and he's all nice and stuff, but she's been talking to this other guy online for a really long time, and he sort of lives within the same area as her now. So she feels sort of torn between these two people, like this guy that she really likes in real life and this other one she's met online, and she hasn't even told him that she's in the same city as him. So yeah, I mean, it was just a really cute book. I think that I gave it 4 or 4.5 stars. It was just a really great read, and it's another one that I knocked over really quickly because contemporaries are just like candy to me. I could just get rid of them so quick. Another audiobook that my Overdrive app had, and I'm so glad that I got this one because I do have the physical copy of the book, but so many times I've spoken about how I have this mental block where I just can't read it, and that is This Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spoon. It's the second book in the Starbound trilogy, and I loved this. I gave it 4 stars. The only reason that I didn't give it 5 is because I couldn't really connect to the characters that much, especially with the characters of Lilac and Tava from the first book being what they had to live up to. This is about Jubilee and Flynn. Jubilee is a soldier on the planet of Avon. Flynn is sort of, his sister was killed in combat. She was like the leader of the resistance against the army that was there. Some stuff's going down on their planet, and all has to do with LaRue Industries, who we met in These Broken Stars. I think that this is definitely a very underrated trilogy. I mean, the ratings on Goodreads, I think that there's like 65,000 ratings for These Broken Stars, and then it goes down to like 20,000 for This Shattered World, and then the last book, Their Fractured Light, which is the last book that I read this month, has like 6,000 ratings, and it's so good. I mean, I know that it is hard. It's a hard thing because there's all of these alternating perspectives and you fall in love with the characters and then they're gone after that book. But they do come back, I promise. Shattered World was perfect on audio. I mean, I could not put it down. I was like running around with one earbud in. My kid's like talking to me. I'm like, hold on 1 second, let me just pause it. And I was like, what's going on? Oh, okay, yeah, no problem. We can do some colouring in. So we're just doing colouring in. I'm like listening to my headphone. I would definitely suggest the Starbound trilogy. This fucking person mowing their lawn, what the fuck. Then the last book that I read in the month, like I just said, was Their Fractured Light. I gave this one 5 stars, was amazing. Sophia and Gideon are like my book OTP. They are the best. Oh my gosh, seriously. I don't think that noise is going to be finishing anytime soon, so I'm really sorry I'm going to cut this one short, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read any of these books, what your favorite book that you read this month was. I'm going to say mine was probably finishing the Starbound trilogy. I'm so proud of myself for that one because I have reread the first book like 3 times to try to get to the next one. I did it, guys. So yeah, I'm going to see you in my next video. Lots of love, hugs, and kisses. Mwah! Bye.